Hello once again, and welcome to Aviation and Other Jargons. The name is Golf Oscar, and today basically we'll be talking about departure sequence. I know you all wonder why and how aircraft are departed when you're in an airport. You suddenly just see a line of aircraft moving around, and you're wondering how these are being done without each and what goes into play for this to be done seamlessly and to ensure that every aircraft are giving their departure time at the right time and with least average delays. It's what we call departure sequence. And there are so many factors that come into play when you need to have a departure sequence so that everything, there will be a seamless departure anytime you have aircraft ready for takeoff or aircraft ready to go to their destination. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm normally departed in the order in which they are ready for departures. First come, first serve. I ask for start, I ask for taxi, I go to the ordering point, I'm ready, traffic permitting, looking at all my parameters, you are departed. But sometimes you might be the first to get to the ordering point and might not depart first. You might think there is a bias or there is a story around it, or there might be somebody favoring who, or you might be a passenger and be thinking, oh, this airline is always going first. The only reason why this thing happens is that if the person in charge, the air traffic controller, feels he needs to deviate from the first come first serve, it will be only to maximize departure with least average delay, meaning he wants people not to be delayed, not only when they are on ground but even when they are going to their destination, and he needs to depart as much aircraft as possible at every point in time. And that's what we mean by maximum departure with least average delays. So, like example, it will be a good thing for you to put an aircraft that is of high performance first to depart than putting a low performance ahead, and you now have to find your way, try to dribble around vectors or turns and make the pilot do much work, and at the end of the day cause delay. And if it's of equal performance, it will be a good one. You put them together and they go. But if you put a low performance or a slow performing aircraft ahead of a high performance aircraft, it won't be a good one. There will be delay, there will be more workload for the pilot and the controllers. The passengers will now realize that they don't get to their destination at the right time, which is not a good one. So this sequence are put in place, and the factors are only 6, and I'll be dropping them right now. R1, aircraft types and their relative performance. Like I said earlier, what you think when you sit down in sequencing aircraft is to look at aircraft speed, their performance. Can this person get to desired level at this time? Will it give me less work? Will it give the pilot less work? Will it cause less delay? So in your head, you think about, oh, why not put a higher performing aircraft? It's just like a relay. The best guy is always put at the last point so that he will be able to maximize and get to the end point or the end of the race at the right time. So in that way, the slower ones will be behind. And that's how it is. If you have low performance and your maneuvers will not make you get the desired result to ensure separation, then why not put someone who can do that ahead that will make you depart more and cause less delays. So number 2 is routes to be followed after departure. When you're planning your traffic for departure, you look at the destination, the routes in which they are going to take. And most especially if you are dealing with runways that are not designated for departure and arrival, but you are working with more than one runways, you look at the turns that will make people get to their desired point with least delay. Most times you can turn an aircraft and he has to do so many vectors to get to his right destination. But if you know that if this guy is going on a left turn and I put him on heading that will take him there, why not do that? Why not look at the route and say, okay, let me put him to the right if he's going to turn it to the right. Let me put him to the left runway if he's going to turn to the left runway. And let me give him an heading that will be good. And we will be able to achieve it with time. So the next one will be any specified minimum departure intervals between takeoff. This comes in when you have time of takeoff, time of departure, clearance, expiry. You have time and you have to look at what they can achieve with that time that you are playing with. Looking at the aircraft performance and the kind of separation that needs to be effected, you need to look at what can be achieved by this pilot or by this aircraft. So when you feel this aircraft with its performance can achieve this time that is needed for the right separation, why not put him first? And when you feel one might not be able to achieve it or might cause delay, why not put him second? Or put him behind and put those ones that can achieve it and cause less delay and less work for both crew and the controller. Why not put them first? So you look at those specified departure intervals and say, oh, let me depart this guy at this time with respect to the separation standard and the law designated for your own state or the country in which you're operating. This is where this condition comes in. The next one we are going to talk about is the need to apply wake turbulence separation minimum. We have three categories of wake turbulence. We have heavy, we have medium, we have light. So it's always advisable to put a lighter aircraft with light wake turbulence ahead of the one with heavy. But it's not advisable to put an aircraft of heavy category and bring a light one in close proximity. So most times, if you are ready for departure, you look at the point whereby the heavy ones can be departed first and the lighter ones can be taken to another runway or put at another link for them to depart. Then you have to look at the minimum or the separation that is needed that will ensure that no matter the wake turbulence of the preceding, the succeeding will not be affected or will be negligible, that will not give the pilot issues with operation of his aircraft. So the wake turbulence is there. That's why when aircraft of heavy wake turbulence is coming, when they are transmitting, they call their call sign and end it with heavy for them to reiterate that, oh, we have heavy category, so whatever you need to do, whatever separation, whatever minimum that you need to put in place is put in place, so that there won't be any issue of great vortices that causes wake turbulence that will affect a succeeding aircraft. It's dangerous. It might make the aircraft lose height or might probably cause issues with the pilot navigating because of the heavy wake turbulence. The next one we're talking about, which is number 5, aircraft that to be afforded priorities. In one of our episodes whereby we talk about how to avoid flight delays, we talk about aircraft of VIP movement causing delays. So if you are departing and you have aircraft that are of high priorities, that means they will go first. It's just a law, is a sequence. Like number 1, aircraft on finals have priorities over those at holding point. So if you have so many people at holding point and you have an aircraft on finals, or you have aircraft that is under emergency, they are going to have priorities. It's either landing or departing. They will always have priorities. So you look at that when you're planning your departure sequence. If an aircraft is of VIP standard with the laws in place according to your regional agreement or with your own state authorities, you have to ensure that they go first and you find your way on how to manage and depart aircraft as fast as possible. As fast as possible to mitigate against those delays that those VIP has caused. Or if an aircraft is on emergency, you know every situation, every condition breaks down and they are afforded priorities. No matter even if you are the holding points or you are there ahead of the person, there will always be a priority, and that's what we understand, that aircraft that need to be afforded priority. And the last one, aircraft that are subject to air traffic flow management. What is air traffic flow management? Air traffic flow management came about when there are issues with operations and you feel you need to space your departures to be able to ensure the standard or the right separation that will reduce any complication or any form of breakdown in separation or cause an incident or an accident. Sometimes you might decide with respect to your regulations in your own country, or there's a breakdown in communication or radio issues or your system just break down. Instead of saying no, this airport is closed, you might decide, after coordinating with other existing FIRs and stations, you might decide to depart every aircraft every 10 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the agreed time between you and your operation manager and with respect to the transmission you have with the pilot. So what do? The pilot and the operating company have so much responsibilities when air traffic flow management is in place. When a time slot is being given to you to depart, you have to ensure that at that time you are there to depart, because the moment that time is gone, it will be very difficult. It might cause more delay for your passengers and it might make you lose money because of delay. So flow management is just to make an orderly departure of aircraft to ensure that, oh, at the point the aircraft is airborne and the next one is airborne, there will be no complication and there will be no breakdown in separation. And it will cover up for the little challenge you have in your operation that has made it impossible for you to depart aircraft with the least minimal delays. You know, the name is still Golf Oscar and the channel is Aviation and Other Jargons. You can help us, you can like the video, you can comment, you can follow this channel, and let us just make people more knowledgeable about aviation. And you know, like I say, let's keep aviation savvy and aviation conscious.